I hear your needles. They might not hear them on camera, but I can hear them.
Yeah, I don't knit.
Swish, 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 swish. Swish, swish, swish. Hey, what you're knitting goes with your outfit, kinda. Kinda. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Whew. I'm out of breath. Good morning.
We took a few minutes to go clean a wall of boxes, so
we might have someone come and look at the art supplies today, and they're behind a wall of boxes. Because boxes just go that way. Because most people want to look at the lovely yarn. So we have issues with our lovely art supplies. Hi, how are you doing today? Welcome to this Undragon Sideshow.
The Dear Becky and Lizzy edition.
Yes.
And we have a question. So
hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and very windy, and because a cold front is moving in fast.
Yeah.
Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Oh, it's still falling out. Good. I can't get the lower one. Liz got me these cute little, here, I'll show you because this one's got to get redone. Liz got me these cute bobby pins, so maybe I could make little buns and have my hair stay in place.
They're spin pins.
They're twisty. And the top one is still, look at that lovely loose bobby. And I mean, this is already out because I took it out. This happened yesterday too, and I thought I fixed it. I thought I figured it out. Nope. So, I might try coming at it from below because maybe it's the angle. Neither here nor there. I shouldn't take up your time with it, but I'm gonna mess with it right now while we dive into what we should be diving into. So I forget if there's anything. Oh, for people who don't watch the VSC, I have to show this off for people who skip the VSC because it's the most dangerous day of the week.
Yeah.
I also wore this. I wore this 2 days in a row because I have to show it off. Like I have more of a bell sleeve going on than I wanted to, but I blocked this. I think the bell sleeve a little bit is because I did such a stretchy bind off on it. But blocking it added length. This is my Calliope, by the way. It is sparkly. You can't see it on camera probably because we don't have
really sparkly,
super expensive fancy lights that will let it actually sparkle. But it was more like, yeah, see if I pull this down. It was more like this before I blocked it. It was up here. Mm-hmm. I had to tug on it all the time to not see my shirt underneath.
You got a good, what, 3 inches?
3 inches. Yeah. It was like 23 or 24 inches, and I blocked it longer. The same thing, the sleeves were up here. And it's come up, if anything, I have to roll the sleeves now back to where they were. And that does loosen up my cuffs a little bit. But so I'm getting used to it, but I think overall I'm going to be a lot more comfortable in this. And I don't think it's shrunk up too much. That's part of wearing it right now.
The waistline hasn't, or the hem on the torso hasn't shrunk up. Your sleeves might have shrunk up a little bit.
But that's actually okay. Because when I put it on after blocking it, I went, whoa, I wanted more length. This might be too much. It was like down to here. So the sleeves might have, and they're loose and floppy and whatever, because it's mohair and fingering weight yarn, and it's hot. Moving those boxes. Cashmere and mohair, I'm a little toasty right now. But that's a good thing because it's a little cold outside.
If we get too hot, we'll just go stand outside for 30 seconds we'll and be like,
whoo. I'm watching the tarp over the wall they built go like this in the wind right now. So, yeah, but blocking the Calliope, it drapes a little nicer now. Everything, blocking is a wonderful thing. So, I just want to show that off. I may get a lot more wear out of this because I got to show it off. But I also want to rotate through my sweaters, which means I should finish some more sweaters.
But we started a new project on Friday.
Friday?
Tuesday. Sorry, I don't know what day it is.
We started a new project on Tuesday. I actually left it at home because I told myself, don't leave it at home, don't leave it at home, don't leave it at home. I left it at home.
Left it.
Because it has its own shopping bag because I'm out of project bags. And yeah, life is crazy at my house right now, and so things get forgotten. But I started another project after that. I started Pohi Locatelli's lightweight hipster with these cool cross beams. I was if you recall, if you're a regular watcher of the show, back in August,
She started a Stormy
September,
Sky.
I started Stormy Skies out of this lovely Daydream Dye Works. And it's been languishing for a while. I mean, a lot of my projects have the potential to languish. This was really languishing. And I have so many triangle shawls. I saw the Lightweight Hipster, which is a 1 skein crescent shawl, and said, ooh, that would be pretty in this. And then I might actually finish something with this yarn. So I started this last night. But we started, I'm so sorry I forgot it. I'm not realizing until this very second.
It happens. People on Facebook and Instagram have seen
But here's
yours.
What's so sad though is they're at the same place right now. Like
you're
starting
last time. I'm starting.
You're starting 7. I was about to start 7. I just finished 6. So well, why don't you show? We both started a papillon.
Because I have so many other papillons on needles.
Well,
I needed
but
one more.
Since I was thinking about maybe doing an actual moth, I think you first were thinking about a feeder brick one.
I've been thinking about a feeder brick for a while.
And then I went, well, I really should, and I don't know if I'm gonna get back to my my concha one because it's for summery times and I'm kind of stalled out on it. So we picked out yarn, really pretty yarn, for me to do one more in the fingering weight range. I think I bumped up to a size 5 needle. But to actually follow the moth, which you've done several times, of having a recipe.
This one's the moth.
Yeah, having a recipe of 6 colors, a pop color, contrast color, and doing them in the order that Marin tells you to do in the moth variant. And I'm doing it, and it's really fun. I'm doing an Aini, which is an alpaca and silk, right?
Yeah. Marin recommends pick a fade or a gradient of 50 gram skeins or because you don't need the whole thing, especially in the fingering weight on little needles.
Here, let's do this.
But and then she breaks up that gradient through the moth, and it looks really, really cool the way so it's now use this one and that one and then throw your pop of color in there and it's awesome.
I'm gonna pull up a photo of mine because we're gonna focus on yours, but I can pull up a photo of mine since I didn't bring it in today, because by the time we showed off on Tuesday, we may both be at really, really, really different places. But why don't you were like, ooh, feeder brook, and then
I'm like, ooh,
tell the
feeder
people
brook.
what happened.
So I have feeder brook at home, and
you see what
we
happened.
have feeder brook at the shop. And I was like, well, I'm gonna get this one to accent the ones that I have at the shop, but I'm really not sure what colors I have at home because it just says the name of what I bought. But then I was like,
and they can be different batch to batch.
They can be different batch to batch, and I have a couple that are, or one that's discontinued. I was like, ooh, look, Rebecca, I have this one. Why don't we have this one anymore? And she went, it's discontinued. And I went, oh. And so then I started and I was like, how am I going to do my feeder brook? It works.
Well, we'll see if it holds.
We'll see
anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
And I was like, how am I going to start with just one ball and go through it?
Or are you going to do the moth variant, which still means a couple of sections with one color and then a couple of sections? It's still going through it in a different pace, maybe.
But then I only have 5 balls instead of the 6 in a pop. So what I settled on, and I actually like it.
What you fell into. No,
what I felt, I settled on it, is all of my skeins are in cakes. So just like this, where you can see all the different colors happening. And what I've done is I'm pulling from the inside of one ball for a color, and then I go pick a different ball and find another, so, but if you look, you're still getting the, this one is blue green and this one is blue and green, and
it's still going to change colors.
It still changes color in the, this, for some reason, this side is darker than this side, but eventually it'll all balance out.
It's kind of cool. So this is one of my Instagram posts of mine. The one I left at home. It really hasn't advanced past that section. But what I'm doing, we picked out solid colors. Mine is not going to change colors within the stripe. There's going to be solid bubbly stripes. We picked Aini, which is in solids, and I've got like a bright teal, a dark teal, a blue, 2 different shades of purple, black are my 6 colors. My pop is going to be fuchsia pink, and my contrast is the light silver. And this is like a light fingering what I'm making mine out of. And I'm not light sport, sorry. Yeah. It's almost a fingering. That's where my brain was going. So it's supposed to be fingering on a 4. So I have bumped it up to a 5. Since it's a little heavier than fingering, almost the same. And these are 50-gram skeins. So I might have to crack into another silver for the contrast, maybe. But I shouldn't need more than a single skein of each of the colors. We're going to test that. I would like to make kits of this because it's pretty. But I'd also like to finish testing it before I do, which means y'all are going to have to be patient.
And Marin does say on the pattern that for some of the moths, like one, she ran out of one of the 50 grams. And she's like, just stick another color in there. Nobody cares.
I'm going to try to
People care, but
we try to convince you not to.
It's more you care about your project. But the papillon is more about the ultimate look. No one is going to notice.
That's a wonderful point because a lot of people lately in the Papillon knit along group are talking about my short rows look funny, or I can see where my short rows are. And what do I do? And we can give you advice about trying to tighten up where your wraps and turns are and things like that. But in all of ours, if you really look closely, you can see where the short rows are. They're a little bit gappier. Some of my posts from what I did,
there's holes all down in here.
One of my posts is at a fun angle, and you can see like a bloop of yarn that's at a funky angle. My Instagram photos, and it's kind of not being concerned with that because the overall look is gorgeous.
The thing is people should not be closer than me to the camera.
I mean,
especially now.
In a regular time, people should not be coming up and going, well, what did you do wrong here? Then that's when you smother them in your papillon.
But like from far away, you can't tell, or even a foot and a half away, you can't tell.
And now, if they're closer than 6 feet and they don't live with you, they should back off.
Yeah.
It should probably be further than 6 feet now with all the variants coming out. Anyway, that's a story for another day. That's a lecture for another day. But
ultimately, the papillon is ultimately a statement piece. Like you're not going to focus on like a stained glass window.
Yeah.
If you get up close to a stained glass window, it's actually ugly because everything is broken up into tiny. I mean, think about it. Hey,
yeah, all the slubs of the solder and
and you can get caught up in that, or you can stand back from it and go, "Oh my gosh." It works. It looks really cool.
It's kind of like points on a quilt, except quilters are still gonna.
I can't
judge you on your points on a quilt, but my points were never great. But the overall effect was pretty cool. So yeah, enjoy the process and know it's gonna be gorgeous when you're done.
Yeah.
So what we get to see is where we are both at on Tuesday, because it's either a competition or a race. We haven't decided.
It depends on who's winning at the moment.
Because, she's decided to go a different way with her feeder book than I'm going with mine. But that's okay. Like, that's not part of what we're doing here. But I will say, I picked the colors. I'm like, I'm going to start it tonight. And she's like, but my feeder book's at home and I don't know what colors I'm using. I'm like, I can wait.
No.
But she wanted us to start at the same time. And knit night was interesting because A, I wasn't feeling top notch, but B, it was I've already started and I'm like,
couple of cigarette breaks later, she was winning.
I was ahead of her, and now she's ahead. And we both have so many other things we're working on. Like I did all of this yesterday. If I had done my papillon, think of where I'd be right now. But this was calling my name. So.
Vamp, Rebecca, I gotta go get a Kleenex.
Okay. I'm vamping. What I was gonna do ever so secretly while Liz was reading our Dear Becky and Lizzy. By the way, I think there might be a box on the floor over here. But you found stuff?
I found one.
We have random stuff all over the shop. Like our Pura. Many of them all over the shop. I got blue light glasses in. I was gonna turn all scholarly. I got cat hair on blue light glasses. Scholarly for our dear Becky and Lizzy. So there's these. Oh, I already need to wash these off a little bit. I got these in. They're green. They're cute. And they need to be cleaned. They're all bigger lenses than I'm used to. I wear contacts and I have glasses at home, but they're those teeny tiny, aren't they cute type of glasses. So I was just showing them my green ones.
And they look so cute.
They're I wore both of these at different times last night just to get used to them, like while watching technology and things. And then I have these. I want a cat eye, kind of like Liz's, but not the same as Liz's. And I thought these would be not quite so big. But
big is a little weird. I mean, I've been weird, right? Little tiny glasses for so long.
And my glasses at home are little tiny glasses.
Yeah.
So like this with my mask on, I felt like I was Clark Kent yesterday. I was like, no one's gonna recognize me.
I'd look up and go, oh wait, that's Rebecca.
It's because I'm on the computer so much. So I might have to experiment with different frames, but the thing is when you buy them online, you don't know what size they are. I know I've seen some ads for ones where you can like virtually try them on, but that's going to be a more expensive place than I probably want to order from. So I have these, or I have these. I think I like these today.
Those look good on you today.
These looked good on me last night, and now I'm kind of not so sure.
New glasses problems.
And look, you can see how bright it is outside. Oh, I got to totally experience what all my knitters experience about your mask fogging up your glasses yesterday. That was fun. What I've decided how Liz wears hers, or how I'm wearing mine, that I think is an approximation of how Liz wears hers, is I have it up far enough, I feel like my mask is a second set of lower eyelids. And then, maybe I'll put up a picture on Instagram later of my Clark Kent ability. But okay, this is so yeah, hang on. We should move to Dear Becky and Lizzy.
I've got it pulled up.
I was wondering.
All day, every day.
It's always waiting on me. Even when it's not waiting on me, it's waiting on me. Okay. Okay, so this is I'm being scholarly for Dear Becky and Lizzy. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to read it since you have your fancy glasses on?
No. Okay. Your phone has your goobers on it.
It does.
So what do we have for?
Well, let me take my glasses off so I can see my phone. Just a little bit older than she is, and now I can't see.
Oh, I've already started doing that at night, but that's probably because I read my phone with my glasses off, because I wear contacts and glasses. I'm very blind. But looking at my phone with my glasses off at night as I get ready for bed means that when I put my glasses on, I can't.
I'm in that hole. Where do I? Anyway.
An eye doctor would be so mad at me.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been to one in a while. Okay.
Okay. Dear Becky and Lizzy, what ho fount of all knitting knowledge?
Oh, I love it already.
I have a dilemma in that I make buttonholes that
I couldn't remember what this was.
Are never in the Goldilocks zone. They are always either too big or too small. If I do a yarn front knit two together on baby clothes, they are either hard to find or too darn big. My cast off 2 stitches, cast on 2 stitches type buttonhole are too big. I frequently have to snag up the buttonholes so they don't gape. Where am I going wrong? Bored of blasted buttonholes. P.S.
Yes.
She was our hat blocking question last week, and she said, I decided not to wash the hat, but to gift it to a friend with a bigger head.
There you go. That is the Sarah Beth. Shout out to Sarah Beth. That is the Sarah Beth technique of if it doesn't fit, find someone who does. Our anti-swatcher, gauge swatcher person. So I think I've seen all kinds of disclaimer, as always. We speak from our experience, and our experience is not the be-all and end-all. And I'm sure we will have people who disagree with what we say. So that being said, I don't engage with buttonholes all that often. So I'm not the expert on buttonholes, but I have seen so many videos, posts about perfect buttonholes. Here's how you fix it. Here's how you make sure, because a lot of buttonholes you can have almost like two holes. If you do the yarn over, knit two together thing, sometimes you don't have a clear hole. You have, is this the buttonhole or is that the buttonhole? I haven't watched any of those, so I don't know what they are going to advise you to do. This is weird looking at me with glasses. Okay,
I know.
I'm moving on. But I will say that, what was her sign off? Now that you've turned your phone off?
It didn't turn it off. It just goes to sleep.
Mine never goes to sleep.
Bored of blasted buttonholes.
Bored of blasted buttonholes. What I would say is you are not alone. You're not necessarily doing anything wrong. Buttonholes tend to be a pretty imperfect thing, especially with most of the directions that are given. So the two that she brought up are some of the most classic versions for people who haven't done buttonholes. One is really almost like making one little lace area in the midst of a sea of no lace, which is a yarn over, which creates a hole. It's creating a hole on purpose. You can yarn over by accident, going from knit to purl without moving your yarn, and say, why do I have a hole? Look, you've made a buttonhole. But the yarn over, wrapping the yarn around your needle to create an extra stitch and a hole, but then you need to compensate for it in another place. And so usually what they have you do is right after that, knit two stitches together. And sometimes, I don't have a good example nearby, but sometimes that does create an uneven gappiness. It doesn't necessarily have a nice edge on the buttonhole. And yeah, it's kind of small, depending on your yarn. And needles. It may end up being too small. Sometimes too big if you need to put teeny tiny buttons on there. More often than not, it's going to give you a hole that's not super big. Again, depends on your yarn and needles. If you're knitting really loosely to begin with, a yarn over knit two together is going to blend in with everything else. Sometimes you can knit loosely enough that stick the buttons wherever you want because you already got gaps to put them through. I have a knitter who's making the Einstein coat, and that's a lot of garter, and that's the buttonholes, the yarn over knit two together. And we had to search for them because garter has a lot of squishy texture, and it was like, where do the buttonholes go? You made them, right? I watched you make them. Where are they? And we had to actually put stitch markers in so we could find them again. So the other one she mentioned
is the bind off cast off.
Mm-hmm. And that's, over the course of two stitches. You can do it bigger if you have bigger buttons. But that goes from a 1 stitch wide buttonhole to a 2 stitch wide, cast off 2 stitches, like knit 2, pull 1 over the other, knit another one, pull 1 over the other. Two stitches are gone there. And when you come back to it on the next row, you need to cast on 2 stitches. You need to close the gap while leaving a hole there, right? I've done ones that are 2 or 3 stitches wide for bigger buttons. That, for the most part, will give you a cleaner edge. Although I always find with a cast on, you can have a little bit of a slidey thing that happens there too, that will get in the way when you're buttoning, either in a good way or bad way. And yeah, that could take you from too small to too big, like instantly, because you're doubling the size of your buttonhole, right? I don't know if there's a perfect solution. That's the problem. I have something I could talk about, but I've been talking for a while.
I feel it's like doing socks or whatever with the holes in your gaps when you're picking up stitches, and everybody has a perfect solution for them, but that perfect solution doesn't necessarily translate.
Yeah.
I don't generally pick out buttons for my knit stuff until after I've completed the garment and know how big the button
and then
is.
But some patterns will say, well, buy this size button and it should work.
But on the flip side, none of my dresses have buttonholes. I have a button on my sewing machine that you're supposedly supposed to push.
Oh, that whole, I've never done the buttonhole.
And it does a proper buttonhole. Like you can even
on the sewing thing,
put a button in the little gauge thing to tell how big it's supposed to be. I've killed 2 sewing machines pushing that button. I don't know how. In fact, the repair guy looked at me and went, "What did you do?" And I said, "I pushed the buttonhole thing and I pushed go and it said nope. And he went, but it's not supposed to. And I said, I understand that. It's supposed to give you a perfect buttonhole every time. I couldn't even get a perfect sewing machine on the other side. Like, yeah. So I kind of stay away from buttonholes, but that's personal preference.
Well, okay. So what I would say is when the buttonhole is too small, I don't really have a solution for that other than moving to that larger type of buttonhole. If you have the perfect buttons for something, I would, as soon as you make the buttonhole, see if they fit through. Yeah. Because if they're too small and you finish the garment and cast off and sew your ends in and then try to attach your buttons and they're too small, that's going to be harder to fix or make do. Yeah. You know, but if you figure out on the next row that maybe my buttons aren't going to fit through, you can back out and fix it right then and there. I'd rather have buttonholes that are too big and maybe look nice and probably, as she was indicating in her letter, have to tack them shut a little bit, like sew a little bit. It's annoying, but you have better control over a bigger buttonhole. I have the wraparound I made with the bocce. That it was Brianna's cowl, Brianna's something or other from Outlander.
Reunion Capelet.
Reunion Capelet. Thank you. Yeah. I made this a while ago. That's awesome. So it had pretty big buttonholes in it, and I didn't have really good buttons for it at the time. I put toggles in. Now the problem when you have a buttonhole that's this wide and you're putting a toggle in that fits like this is there's a good chance it's going to slip out. So I had to, on each buttonhole, I actually had to take some extra yarn and tack it shut and weave my ends in.
But that can actually stabilize the buttonhole.
It can
for
catch
the life of the garment.
Strandaways and stuff, right? So
buttonholes can stretch over time. And if you whip stitch the ends, it'll actually stabilize it for a longer period of time.
And the cast off, cast back on again, for the most part, gives you a cleaner edge, but you could, in sewing it shut, sewing shut just the end because it's too big, you could even do a decorative whip stitch around the whole edge of the buttonhole, which would make it look prettier, make it not look like you just flubbed the end a little bit, if it even shows, and could take care of a lot of issues you might have with buttonholes. It's a question of how much work you want to put in. Because if you're like, no, I want to be done when I put my needles down, then you might have to deal with some kind of awkward looking buttonholes. Or go look at, I want to say Mason Dixon might have a tutorial on buttonholes. I'm sure Pearl Soho or Very Pink Knits, those guys will have some great tutorials. Probably they have discussed the whole buttonhole issue. I do not have something on my Tips and Tricks channel about buttonholes. I have not gotten there yet because I tend to focus on things that I'm doing in my projects or that people have asked about. And as I have just demonstrated, it is not my area of expertise. So
buttonholes are my nemesis.
Yeah. If things, I've got buttonholes. They were these fancy I-cord edging add-ons on my Carbeth cardigan, but I haven't put buttons on the other side because buttoned up cardigans tend to be my nemesis because I have that kind of shape where it fits nicely, but then when I button it, it does the bubble thing and doesn't look very nice when it's buttoned up. So I don't button up my cardigans. So I would say there tends to be awkwardness to the edges of buttonholes quite often in knitting. And some of the ways to fix that is just to go in and darn or to sew some stuff later to clean it up. The same as you would clean up joins in gloves or what we're saying, socks before, armholes. You know, there's some imperfections that happen there, and there may be magical cures, but like I said, a lot of the videos that say this is a magic cure, it works for that person. It may or may not work for you, but you should try it. And
doing a little whip stitch on the end of each buttonhole not only can snug it up, but help it from stretching out. Like, you know,
I feel like
keep those imperfections down for later.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted.
Her glasses.
And it's not like glasses are new to me. I just don't usually wear them. So, and these kind of remind me of, I had glasses back when I was in middle school, that had the fade to clear at the bottom. They probably were this very size, but my head was smaller and they looked huge. And these kind of look huge.
We'll see. They were probably bigger. I
think it was a style. It was the style of it. They have to follow your eyebrow, which this almost does. But that meant they had to be equidistant on the other side and, touch my cheeks. And I hated those glasses.
Sally Jesse.
I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was quite that bad, but who knows? But they were supposed to be fashionable. But I have to decide how much money I want to spend on these frames to try to get some frames that are cute, or just make do with these. I'm sorry. I've totally gone away from buttonholes.
It's not a thing.
But I think we kind of had finished our...
Yeah.
I just didn't give us closure time there. I just jumped right on to... Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Big buttons. Definitely have the cast off, cast back on. I'm sure there's other ways that people do buttons. If you'd like to comment on this video or email us, we can try to reference that in a future episode. I don't know if we'll actually wait till another Dear Becky and Lizzy. I don't know if people actually watch certain days because they know certain things are going to happen. That's awesome. But what?
we still have a lot of knitters who are watching us from the beginning. They'll tell us, hey, we decided to start at the beginning, so we don't know what you're doing for VSC. It's then skip to the VSC and,
I think you can watch the VSCs out of order. Tuesday and Thursday, if we, mention stuff, you can see some project progress if you want to see that in order. The VSCs tend to be anomalies, and we might show off a project we're working on because it relates to the yarn. But
and I'm always knitting, so
if I didn't talk with my hands, I might. If I could multitask, I might. Anyway.
Yeah.
We should go because we still have to tackle the wall of boxes. It's better, but it's not perfect. And
I have to wind yarn.
And we have to wind yarn. And we don't know what's going to happen today because it's so cold out. We don't have many appointments scheduled, which means if you would like to come in today and you're watching this video, it all depends on how fast I can get it up. You really should make an appointment to come in. Maybe make an appointment for tomorrow. Because if you show up today and say, but it's cold outside, we are most likely 99% going to say, I'm sorry, you don't have an appointment. Because even people with appointments don't pay attention to all the rules for appointments. So just letting someone in could be complete meltdown. Even if we love you. So
and I love you, but
we do love you.
If it's cold out, your mother told you to put on a coat. You probably told your children to put on a coat and dress appropriately for the weather. Just because we're grown-ups does not mean we get to change that outside job.
I would wear a hat and gloves and a winter coat and possibly a scarf today or a cowl like this.
When we go outside to assist people who show up with or without a winter coat on, we try and grab at least a shawl or something, or
something
cowl,
for the neck,
something to add some warmth to the, hey, we're going outside for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't, and we wind up getting cold. But
what's really crazy is Tuesday. It was in the upper 60s
or mid 60s. Yeah.
If we might have hit 70, maybe.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
I was in bare feet.
Yesterday it was kind of warm. It was warm enough.
We got up into the upper 50s.
Today, maybe we'll hit the upper 30s. Maybe. When the sun's out. And by
the sun leaves the patio at 2.
Yeah. By this afternoon, there will be no sun. Even earlier than 2, the only sun we have is reflected off the windows back onto the patio, which is...
Well, there's a sliver of sun over on the far end of the patio that I go hunker down in for a 3 to 5.
Liz does her 3 to 5. She knows where the sun is. She can tell you.
Yeah. But
and if you come after 2...
No sun until about 5 when it's coming around the other side of the building and blinding us through the windows if we're here. We're not here.
the one once or twice we've had to drive home in the dark lately. It's like, what?
People do this? What?
And it's not that we're old. We're getting there, but it's not that we're old.
Yeah.
It's that,
We
safety. It's like it's dangerous when the sun goes down. We get our butts out of here. So
we haven't, except for like a couple of times, we have not driven in the dark on purpose. I did the other one night to go get groceries, and that was just weird. But it's been
During
since
the pandemic.
March last year,
Yeah.
like probably February, our last knit night. It was our
February or
first
March
virtual knit night last.
Yeah, we did it from here, and then we drove
Yeah.
home, and it was creepy.
Yeah,
Because it was
like
kind of quasi
9 o'clock
lockdown.
at night.
There was nobody
And
around.
Nobody was out. I think my car was the only one in the parking lot.
It's creepy.
Rebecca followed me to my car to make sure that nobody. Yeah,
It's
it was
creepy.
weird.
Yeah. One of the things with pandemic times is like zombie rules. Don't be out after dark.
Yeah.
Because it's just not fun.
No.
So we are bidding you adieu till next week. But
On
today
here.
on here. Yeah. We're here tomorrow for shopping, but we won't be filming. It's always weird when we don't
And
film.
knit night tomorrow.
And knit night tomorrow night, so you can join us online tomorrow night. I was like, there is something else, wasn't there? Today is our 98th episode, I believe, of the I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Of the straight up
I
side
can't
show.
remember whether you said 98 or 97.
97 was Tuesday's always an odd number.
Ah,
Thursday's always an even number. I remember that. When we did the special was it Christmas or New Year's? New Year's.
New Year's.
I didn't label that with a number because it would have thrown it off. So we've done well over 100 episodes if you count the VSCs. That's not how I've been counting episodes or labeling them.
We're counting
Tuesday. What?
We're counting sideshows proper, and Dear Becky and Lizzy count as a sideshow. Kind
It
of.
does, because I haven't split those off into their own category because confusion.
Yeah.
So Tuesday was episode 97. This is 98. Wednesday was VSC 45. So we're almost at like 50 and 100. Not quite. So in a week, we will be having our 100th episode, which is crazy. And we are coming up on 1 year of trying this out. How crazy is that? Because you know what it is? I realized, and I can expound more upon this when we actually do like an anniversary episode. It was the episode I watched of Grocery Girls when I went, this is cool and fun, and I bet we could do something like this. And
we'll never talk this long.
And that's another thing we can talk about. And I didn't watch much more because I didn't want us to become like a carbon copy because they're their own thing and it's awesome. It was a Super Bowl episode they filmed, and the Super Bowl is coming up. So we are coming up on our 1 year anniversary. It is going to be early, mid-ish February. But our 100th, like our syndication episode, is going to be in a week. So join us. We may not really talk about it. We may forget and not talk about it, but hopefully we won't because, it's us. Anyway.
I should probably sew a new dress and, have a celebratory dress.
But you were going to do Halloween and other dresses too. But please do. I'm not saying you won't, but
who knows what I'll do.
It depends on how much of a competition our papillons get into.
That I
have so many sweaters I want to finish. I have to figure out this weekend how to cycle through a lot of different projects.
Well, once I get this one up to row 11 with the contrasty color, I will have 4 papillons at that same point in time.
Are you gonna have to?
And I'm kind of, I don't know. It's, do I let one race ahead? And
you could, assembly line wise, you could do section 12, whatever, on each and every one. Do you think that would be more effective, like productive of, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to repeat it, or would you lose the will to knit because it's the same thing and you get bored? What do you think?
Well, with some of the, like doing the rows where I have to put the stuff in the middle or the stuff on the ends, not the bubbles, it helps to actually production line them, because then I've got a rhythm with the, knit this many, wrap and turn, add one, take away one, whatever. I've kind of got the pattern in a rhythm then to where, it's not as awkward as doing it by itself the first time. But there are sections in the papillon that it doesn't really.
Depends.
Generally, I tend to group my papillons in groups, and at the start of a weekend, like tomorrow when I go home for knit night, I'll start playing with a bunch of different things. And by Saturday lunchtime, I'm like, I'm tired of this one. I'm tired of this one. I'm tired of this one. I'm focusing solely on one thing. And, but I'll like touch a bunch of different projects just to go, what speaks to me this weekend? So, and it could not be any one of these, but I really need to work on the Peterbrook one since, there is a slight competition to it.
You should tune in on Tuesday and find out what happens.
I could have a finished cape. Who knows?
So come to Knit Night tomorrow night. You might see a glimpse of that. That is 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom with the code that is our shop phone number, 828-877-3550. And then next week we have regular sideshow of basically Tuesday has devolved into here's what we got done this weekend, which is fine.
Which was kind of what it started out as.
Yeah. That was it. It's like, look, we made papillons in like 8 minutes.
We're still binding them up.
And Wednesday we will sell you stuff and have new specials. We've already sold a couple of Queenslands, like the Sun Dragon colors. It's gone. I'm sorry. The green one, we only had one in stock. It's gone. I will try to order more, but it may not come in before the special's over. I'll get stuff up as fast as I can because next Wednesday everything changes, right? So see what we have left and see if you like it. Get it while you can. I discovered when listing these yesterday, the green one and the gray one, I forget their names right now, are the only ones I can reorder. The other ones we're gonna have to replace with new fun color combinations.
The blue, the red, and the purple.
The red's just gone. Yeah. At this point. The purpley pink one was cute, but I don't know if we have a good replacement. We ordered a few new colors yesterday.
It's not a thing.
Who knows when it'll come in. Anyway, so that's next Wednesday. Next Thursday will be like this. If we have advice questions, we will answer them.
An addendum to Tuesday night, Zoom Tuesday night.
Oh yeah. We will Zoom again on Tuesday night, 6 to 9 p.m., just like Friday. Ooh. Someone has a big package. Sorry, squirrel. And so if you want some advice questions answered, or you want to see if you can stump us, it's like Car Guys Stump the Jumps. You could totally stump us with something, I'm sure. So, dear Becky and Lizzy, if you want to write us a letter, it is
Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712.
It was on the back of our eyelids.
Yeah, I have to close my eyes to see it. Like,
or email liz@sundragonartandfiber.com, all spelled out. So we should go because we said we were going to go like 5-10 minutes ago, and it's almost time to open the shop. So come by, bundle up, or make an appointment. We love you. Please subscribe. We are slowly, again, if we get to 500, we will give you a sale. Yay! Sale online and with passwords in the shop. Our ultimate goal is more than that, but let's set benchmarks, right? So at least give us a thumbs up. Write some comments if you want to. I reply to them if I can. I want to reply to everyone's comments, but oh my gosh, life.
I just don't get online as much as she does. So she'll tell me.
That's why I got the glasses.
She'll tell me, go online. Somebody wrote you a comment. And I'll be like,
bye, everyone. We love you. Stay safe. Thanks for being part of our community. Bye.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends and neighbors. Yay, bye.